All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Spice and Wolf, episode 22.
The mystery continues. It unfurls, and there's a plan, but what is the plan? They didn't tell us.
Holo's going to use her tail. But Lawrence isn't getting any.
No, not
never,
yet.
Never.
Not yet. As frustrating as that might be for both us and Holo.
And Holo, yes.
Yep.
Lawrence is just like, I'm sorry, I'm on that grind set. And then
Sorry, Holo. It's November.
But then even more reason to bunk down for winter.
You make a good point.
Yes.
But
Damn it.
I want everything to just go well for Evan this arc because he is the sweetest and most wholesome boy, and my guy, you need to get just all of this troublesome stuff that you're dealing with taken care of.
Yes, yes you do. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Apologies for the other day.
Just what business do you have here?
Mr. Evan told me that you were dealing with an unusually difficult situation the last time we stopped by. So I think we've dawdled Ontario long enough. But before we go, might we come in and pray for safe travels?
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
I have a feeling. I have an idea.
You may say your prayers here at the altar.
This Father Franz,
Yes?
he must have been a man possessed of immense faith.
Whoa.
He was devout.
I'd like to confess,
I see. Then kindly follow me to another room.
I'd rather do it here, openly, before God.
Very well then.
I have slept with a fox demon.
Hey, she's a wolf.
My sin is dishonesty. Knowingly, I have fooled another for my own benefit.
Do you have the courage within you to confess to God your trespass in full?
I do. Today I spoke a lie designed to trick someone into relinquishing that which they wouldn't have given me otherwise. It was you,
Yeah.
Miss Elsa. With that, I have unburdened my soul by declaring my lies. Now I'm free to speak the truth. I'm not here to ask where we might find it.
What?
Because
We're in it.
we've already found Diandron Abbey, haven't we? It's here. It's the fear of Inberg's church discovering the actions of your predecessor that binds your tongue.
Dang.
Am I wrong?
Wait, just who in God's name? See for yourself.
Yeah, she's just gonna.
Yeah.
Do you wish to touch them, priest?
Just passed out.
Are you feeling all right?
Still has the ears out.
Yep. Huh.
So it wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
Well, they do say that devils like to exploit the sleeping.
What? Hey.
Why are you after them?
So I may return to my hometown.
Your hometown?
I left my home long ago. I do not even know if the place in my memories still exists. What would you do? If you were me, and someone knew of the home you so longed to find.
You do not seem to be possessed by the devil, as he would say. Possession is a fiction used to explain the unknown.
Oh. Go off.
Please follow me.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
In his last will and testament, Father Franz detailed how the statue could be moved.
Be careful.
Books can be found down in the basement. The information you seek will most likely be written there.
May we take them back to the inn?
I would request that you read them here in the church.
Oh, the book in the Opie.
Yeah, the book
Cool.
in the opening is,
Your presence here would have made Father Franz quite happy.
yeah.
He always believed that the stories he holds so dear were more than mere fairy tales.
Gotcha. So
Okay.
he had no real belief. It was just a hope.
I'll know not to underestimate a merchant next time.
I got so many bucks.
Excuse me.
Well, if a merchant wishes to ascend to heaven, then he can't let his coin purse weigh him down.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. May the blessings of God be upon you.
All right.
Cool. So they can buy more candles.
Yeah.
I do fancy myself rather proficient in the art of giving advice. Speak.
Yeah.
My advice will be sincere, provided there's no money to be made.
These stories, the tomes and tales filling the basement, if they're factual accounts, then
Yeah.
Does that mean that the god we believe in is false? If that girl truly is a faith-denounced pagan god, then what does that mean for the one whom the church espouses? I don't
Sure.
have the slightest clue.
I am but a mere traveling merchant, poorly educated in the teachings of God. I couldn't tell you the difference between the sacrosanct and the sacrilegious if I tried.
No.
That was awfully compassionate.
No.
Merchants are always compassionate toward those they wish to do business with. Is there any chance you can hear what they're talking about?
She is telling him exactly what she assured she would.
We should be able to pull it off if we work together and skim through them quickly.
Indeed.
What is it?
Just working together with you. Yeah.
The elder has returned home, so as to our conversation.
Oh, that's great.
The girl is clearly battling through an internal crisis. Who can say what she will do once she has found her resolution?
I believe the reason Father Franz started collecting the stories he did was to try and prove the existence of his own God. He prayed day after day, but never saw so much as a hint of him.
God does not exist. After all, the church mistakenly believes that God created the world and that humans are merely borrowing it, do they not?
They do.
That's fun.
Evan,
Yeah.
don't spill your drink and tear your bread before you eat it.
I know. Now please continue on with the story you were telling, Mr. Lawrence. Food, you say?
Merchants on board had brought food.
Even
from
Holo's
all
like,
over the continent.
what?
There's
Huh?
this one particular trader from the Ebgod region who had a kind of bread that tasted as salty as the sea.
You'd have to be insane to salt bread, though. There's a whole world beyond this village that I have no idea about.
Thank you for setting out such a lavish feast for us,
Aw.
Miss Elsa. Now that we're finished,
You're welcome to continue. Your
Yes,
work
yes.
for the night.
thank you.
Holo's like, yes,
Hey,
yes,
Mr.
yes.
Lawrence, come tell me more stories of your travels before you go.
Evan, go practice your writing.
Big sister more than like
Yeah.
secret lovers.
Uh-huh.
Elsa and Evan,
What of them?
they seem to get along really well. What? Did I say something unusual?
Despite my vast wisdom and tranquil temperament, I do still have some pride.
Yes.
And to that end, I would really prefer you not speak so enviously of them. I do not know why so slight a thing embarrasses you so significantly, yet to hear you so enviously proclaim their compatibility, all the while you and I...
I didn't quite know how to articulate it. It's true that I feel a sense of envy towards them, but it has nothing to do with their relationship.
Are you lying to me?
Life in this village.
It's the place.
I'm just a traveling merchant without any roots.
Yes, you are.
So, what does our future look like once you've found your way back home?
We build a town together.
We'll populate the whole thing.
I am Holo, the wise wolf of Yoitsu.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh.
I wish to sleep. Would you kindly look through the remaining books for me?
I'd be glad to.
Did she just nibble his finger?
I think so.
I do not wish to imply the tale of this bear god has more merit than the others, as heavily represented as this Ursine deity is in both legend and myth.
Does the Pope even know such stories exist? If my deductions are accurate,
Whoa.
God triumphed over this formidable being with nary a finger lifted. I can barely steady my hand long enough to write.
I don't know if this will change anything or everything, but please, be honest with me. Don't hide your thoughts.
All right.
If asked, I'll maintain the narrative that it was religious discussion that kept me and my companion so late. As she's a nun, it's a plausible explanation.
You'd best take a blanket with you.
I fear I must insist.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Oh shit, and the book is not well hidden.
Please understand, we are only doing what we must.
Know first, I am with the Rowan Merchant Association.
You see, we have not come here tonight with any ill intent.
Mmm.
We are here because someone in Inberg died eating Terrio wheat.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
We got our plan.
We did.
Just
Yeah.
get Elsa caught on her own turf and reveal Holo and express your interest in the stories.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, this was the simplest plan, but it's to the point in that you risked the, yes, she could freak out and just call the townsfolk.
Yep.
You guys would get violently kicked out or just violently
have to
dealt
escape
with.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, could have gone badly, but ended up going absolutely well.
Yep.
We learn quite a bit about the father. We also learn in a lot of ways about their faith, in that they absolutely are fully in with their God, the main God of the church or what have you. But because of the stories and because of Franz's heretical looking into these stories, ended up basically needing to confirm with himself or within himself whether or not he believes that his God is even real.
Right.
And I love that he used other pagan god stories as the vehicle to find any evidence to confirm that this God exists.
Right. Because even in other, the idea that even in other religions, if your God is present in them, then that might mean something,
Oh, it definitely means something. Like, that's actually a thing that's quite common in a lot of religious texts, is that they actually do mention a lot of the stuff that would confirm gods of other faiths. That's quite specifically an example in the Quran with Christianity. There's cross references between the two. So it's kind of fun to see that that's something that's done here. And given that the Ursine bear god is the one that drew the connection to this, is a nice convenient thing for the story.
Right.
But it's also something that draws a bit of a question up in the air of what do you mean the god was defeated with nary lifting a finger? Because that can mean a couple different things.
Sure. But I think I understand now why this arc getting removed from the original series was problematic, because this feels like very plot relevant stuff that is being built up here.
Yeah,
if this was
long-term
removed,
series stuff.
right, long-term series stuff, and then if it way down the line that ends up, becoming actually plot critical, then it's like, oh shoot, that's actually an issue that we didn't, cover this arc. But
it definitely feels like there's a subplot going on in the world, which is that while most of the people in this world are just doing their best they can to survive, there is another force that is slowly going and encroaching through its own means of economic expansion, and that is the church. And that is something that actively wars against the very existence of Holo. And given that Holo is a literal pagan god in this world, in that people have worshipped her and
all that stuff,
and for a long time, Holo would naturally draw towards her all the other pagan gods of similar type and stature. So very fun in that we actually get some time to just sit in the lore stuff here for a bit. And, given that they can't just spend the whole episode on that, we kind of rush through it until they get to the actual relevant stuff. Although I would have been kind of keen to, this is probably a go read the light novel situation, but I'm kind of keen to see what are some of the other, things in the stories out there? I don't know if they hear some of them, but maybe they'll get brought up over the course of the series now that they've ingested, and to be fair, they were skimming for evidence of stuff.
Yeah,
that
they're not
they
wanting to
glean that would be
research, absorb all the research that this father, did over his life. But I gotta say, also, the character stuff we got this episode was fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like we went from, with Elsa in particular, we went from, okay, she's just sort of a person in the town that we don't know at all, to now okay, I get who she is. I care about her character.
Yep.
I really like that we got those bits of the interactions between her and Evan. So it's like, okay, cool. That's very sweet and everything. And the fact that even turned into a conversation then about oh, their dynamic is so cute and stuff, and it's like, okay, and what about us? Well, that was so sweet and
so real.
And so real of
Yeah.
thinking about our, like
Dynamic.
our dynamic and our relationship and like, what do we want it to be versus how is it? And like, I love it. I
mean,
love it.
it's a very real thing.
Sure.
Even as someone who's like very newly married, there's an aura that like radiates off of me and my wife sometimes where people be like, oh my God, you guys are so cute together.
Aww.
And every once in a while, I'll see people like punch their significant others or like swat them and be like there's almost that like loving teasing of like, when did you stop doing that for me? Like when was it?
Let's
Such a gentleman or such a kind wife, and then
redouble our own striving for couple goals.
Right, exactly, right.
Uh-huh.
And that's the whole thing of when you see newlyweds or new couples or new, significant others all being all lovey-dovey, you're like, ugh, gross. And it's just the thing of where like, that'll be gone in 3 years or something. Or it's
give it time, and then it's like, but what if it doesn't?
But what if it doesn't?
Right? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit,
maybe the problem's with me,
we can't have that.
I mean, everyone's different. There's
absolutely.
There's no standard to hold yourself to. Just be
whole-
excellent to each other and party on, dudes. you
Right.
know?
The whole point with, relationships like that is that you make your own rules, right? So
Right.
you figure out what you're going to do and how you want it to be and all that. But the fact that
It's all
Lawrence
about
and Holo were
communication.
talking about that, I loved it.
I love it too.
I loved it so much. It's like
actual adults talking about
it's
this
it's
stuff.
incredible. And it's
And
like,
it's
wait,
not in a soapy drama way.
you
it's just-
determined this arc to be cuttable?
Right.
Like in the original what? What?
I mean, maybe the next arc is just goated. I don't know. Like,
I mean, I've seen the next arc.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's a good one.
Okay.
But like,
maybe it's just that this one is a bit slow in that you kind of need to have the small town set up. And
it is definitely a different style of arc compared to the other ones from what I've seen so far, right?
It also does feel a little bit looser. Like, it does
Yeah.
feel like there's just some things in it that don't feel relevant beyond setting up kind of the town's overall vibe.
Well, Lawrence has no way, as far, we've gotten a decent bit into the arc, and currently Lawrence has no way or even idea of making a profit here.
Yes, right.
It's entirely the, hey, we're going to research Yoitsu and navigate this town that has money problems, but they aren't actually relevant to Lawrence directly.
No.
So, I get it, but also, God damn it, we've been getting such good, Lawrence
I mean, this
Holo stuff.
this show is absolutely incredible. I've swiftly come to like really appreciating any chance I get to watch another episode of it because there's something about these characters that is just so dang
wonderful.
good. Love them. So having them have this talk, getting to actually have Holo be vulnerable, talking about the way this makes her feel a little bit awkward and embarrassed and, stuff.
Doing the hey, hand around shoulder.
Right.
No, keep it there.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
I love it. I love the way in which Holo shows her maturity in being able to talk about her feelings with something like this. And then in the same breath, immediately after, her immaturity and being kind of like, petty, I lie down here. Is this a problem? Now you do the rest of the reading. And he's like, you fucking... Fine, okay.
Yeah.
There's this little aspect of Lawrence that's just kind of cute, just to show that she needs constant reassurance that he loves and cares about her.
Yes.
She really does. She's very insecure about this. She's very scared of being left alone again. And the ways in which she basically makes these little asks of him is kind of a thing to say, hey, you still want to be with me, right? You still want to be around me. You'll make these little... It's extremely immature.
Right.
But it's tied to her fear and stuff. So the idea that Lawrence is gracious enough to willing to keep doing this without really too much bickering about it or too much complaining is just a testament to Lawrence in a lot of ways. And it's just, you keep at it, man.
Also,
you are being put upon, but you know what? We see you. We see you, man.
Also, something that I just thought was so wonderful, and also like, oh my God, grown-up relationships. This is so fantastic. But him being like, hey, I'm thinking about the future, right? And like, you won't just want to spend a day there. You won't just want to look at it, right? Like, and that, of course, making Holo like, antsy and stuff. And he's like, we don't have to talk about this though, right? Like maybe this wasn't the time to bring it up, right?
Sure.
Like that kind of sort of like meta awareness of like the way that the things that you bring up or your concerns and the way they affect your partner is fantastic, and I feel like it especially makes sense after the previous arc,
Yeah.
where that was the big problem, right?
Right.
Is that, you know, them not being aware of those kinds of things and then it causing all of this mess, right? And so the idea that that's there as both something to show how they've grown,
Yes.
right? But then also on top of that, it just being something that is wonderful to see in general, because to have things that end up making you feel insecure or, you know, nervous or whatever, right? That's normal. It's not a question of whether or not those happen. It's how you handle those things when they happen.
Right.
And so to see these two handle them like this, it just makes me really happy.
Really happy too.
Yeah.
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 Because they're cute and adorable as well.
That's right.
We love them a lot.
That's right.
Also, Evan was absolutely a cutie patootie in this episode. Just being like, oh, you went and you had weird bread that was salted? Why would you salt bread? Why the hell wouldn't you salt bread, you absolute, you know, chicanery, you know, nonsensical.
No, hang on. He's right.
No, he ain't right. No.
Okay.
You never had bread with salt on it?
I have, and it's not as good.
Well, that you
It's
have
not as
eaten
good.
good bread then.
No, I've had very good bread, and the best stuff is always unsalted because you don't need that shit.
No.
The bread is good enough.
No.
I'm not talking about the little
heartily-
bit of salt you put in bread as a part of making it. I'm
Yeah,
not talking about
no,
that.
we're talking about bread that on the crust specifically has that little bit of salt. No, it's fantastic.
It's good, but it's
See, the thing is that you're basically okay. You're not saying anything here because there are so many types of bread that don't have salt on them, Jacob. So
Yes.
obviously there are some of them that are better than the salted bread.
See, I'm one of those people where, you know, people talk about like, oh, sea salt caramel or whatever. It's so good. I'm like, no,
That's
it's not.
neither here nor there. That's a
Same,
sweet.
It's the same
It is
principle.
not the same principle
don't need,
at all.
Bread don't need to taste salty. If
What
you
do,
want,
do you put butter on bread?
sometimes
Do you know what sometimes and most of the time is in butter?
salt.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can do that a little bit sometimes, but I would say the good bread, you don't even need to do that, and it can be fantastic. But like if you're just
You
putting
do
salt,
not have access to that kind of bread on a regular basis.
I will tell you, a lot of grocery stores have their bakeries are really good, and they make good
that
bread,
is not
and it's fantastic. You get some good ciabatta Toscana or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I will eat that shit plain. I don't need anything else with it.
Yeah, you crazy. Like, no. Bread absolutely does not need this stuff. But when you get the right bread with the right salted butter, oh my God, it's divine. There's something about the fact that you don't need, I agree, you don't need that much, but you can have that little bit there when the bread is hot, I mean piping hot, and it's just...
and you got the butter that just sort of melts as soon as it touches
Oh my
it.
God! Yeah. It is heaven. It is like end me now. I've lived. I'm good. And it's all over. I can just die happy.
Holo sees that bread and looks at Lawrence and is like, Lawrence, this is making me feel insecure. You know, yeah. Yeah.
Lawrence, if you could only look at me the way you look at that bread. I'd love for you to churn my grain like that, you know.
Salivate over me. Yeah.
Yeah. Grind me up in your mill.
Oh
Work
my
your
God.
stones over my wheat.
Good God. We are down bad for the romance in this show.
I am
and
so
I
down
am
bad
so
for the
okay
romance
with
in
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this show is wonderful. You know, just
It's special.
Just watch it with everybody. Get other people into it. You know, like because it's fantastic and
It's the passion of people going on life's journey together and learning and growing together in that. That's just what life is. And you know what? Sometimes romance happens too because you know what? People are pretty dope sometimes when
That's
you
right.
end up spending enough time with them to get to know them. And it's just like,
I'm
gonna
gonna keep you.
I'm gonna choose you.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a good time.
And we're gonna have so many delicious breads together.
Oh my God, you can't even count the number of breads you've eaten.
Yep.
But okay, townsfolk are here.
We
There's
got some corporate sabotage.
We got some fake E. coli in the
Yep.
food supply.
The health inspector was already on location. They were ready.
They were bought and paid for.
Yeah,
This is some
bullshit.
This is some nonsensical farcery.
If anything, Lawrence, this is a buying opportunity. I don't know if this town has stock.
That's true.
But the price is about to plummet, so you buy when it's low.
That's
because you can believe in these people in this town.
You could save them by stealing from them.
Or if you come up with a deal of like, hey, I'm a merchant, I got connections. If we figure this shit
Bro,
out.
that's just one sale. That's not like
No, right. But like, hey, you guys have been doing pretty good as far as money's concerned and all that, right? You hire my services. I might have someone that I could get to.
I think it might be
potentially
more of like he can write a letter. But yeah, the point when he's like, hold on, I'm with the Roan Trading Company. They know where I am. I love that they were like, whoa. Like we're not here to abduct you or kill you or something. Like,
right. Oh yeah, I guess we do have these big sticks. That's in case you're a problem. Yeah, no, I'm not a problem.
Right.
But I would be.
I would be if you did something.
Right.
I know you fear the church, but do you fear more than the church? The corporations.
And they're like, oh shit. Yeah.
They send a hired mercenary team over here to, mess y'all up. I love that Lawrence's thing is like, hold on, you might kick my ass, but in 7 days, someone will be back here to kick your ass.
Right.
And it's like,
I mean,
that's true.
That's so much of civilization. It's just fear of retribution,
Right.
It's like, yeah, you could do whatever you want, but is it worth it?
Is it worth it in the long haul? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.